Matt Wells, whether it be Craig Harrison, his junior from Grantsville, Utah. So here we go. Utah State is going to get the ball to start the second half. They're going to put back Travis Reynolds. Couple back because of the rain, and the wind is picked up as well with the rain. Line drive takes the return game right out of it. It'll be a touchback, and Utah State will have it at their own 25. So is it going to be Keaton in the game or Craig Harrison, the backup? Man, I see Craig Harrison, the junior, at 6'2", 205. And Keaton looks pretty good with headsets.
He does. He absolutely does. And I think if you would have asked Coach Wells that they'd be up 49-0 at half and Keaton would be out of the game, I think he'd be happy with that coming into this one. Keaton better get comfortable, get himself a raincoat or something, because he's going to be watching football for the next 30 minutes.
Harrison has not thrown a pass this year. Was 8 of 9 last year. Man, get some of the other running backs an opportunity. Robert Marshall, the senior from Dallas. Now, what about the mindset of the backup quarterback? Because you've been a backup in the NFL.
You come into this game, obviously, first and foremost, you don't love walking out of the locker room and seeing the downpour rain and the wind. Chucky Keaton got a dry first half. I don't know if that's very fair for Craig Harrison, but you want to come out and execute. Obviously, you're a junior. Chucky's a junior, so you're going to be a backup here. But be a guy that your team can count on, and you prove that by coming out here and playing well in second halves just like this.
Highwood, and not a soft landing as it's taken in over to the far side by Ronald Butler, who's got a touchdown reception. Coney timed it right underneath him. Coney, we talked about the true freshman, starting as well. And Weber State using so many redshirt and true freshmen like Coney, or a true freshman from Orlando. Third and less than a yard. It'll be Marshall. And stacked up right at where he needed to go. I think he's short. Linesman, if he gets it on this side, he's short. Valenzuela pushed him back. So they finally fail on a third down.
Despite it being against the second-team offense, or at least the second-team quarterback from Utah State, that's a big win for Weber State. They go into the break at halftime. You want to show some improvement, come out and force a 3-and-out. I think Coach Sears will be excited to talk to his guys after this team about how they started this second frame here at Utah State. Positive for them. Get off the field, and let's see what this offense can do, which struggled so much in the first half.
Ventrue punting for the first time as Kella Marciel, also the holder and return man, gets it cleanly back at the Weber 22. It'll be Cipoletti in there at quarterback. They got a first down on that final drive of the first half. Their only first down. So let's see, 26 snaps. Let's see if there's gradual improvement. 26 snaps, only 30 yards in the first half. And let's see if after 30 snaps, a little bit better for Cipoletti. Calls his own number and bounces outside. And good yardage. Up to the 28, gets 6. How easy is it for a big quarterback like yourself as opposed to a guy who's only at about 6 feet to run the zone option read?
It's tough, and he's got the mobility, no doubt about it. But when you are only 190 pounds, you're playing against a big-time defense with linebackers at 240 and 250. Those guys are going to come lay the hat in the open field, so you got to protect yourself. I think they only have 2 or 3 other possibilities at the position tonight, so you'd like him to avoid some of those big hits that we've seen him take. But here we go. We're going to see a 1st and 10, it looks like, for Weber State. They marked him short, so he'll be a little bit short, but here you go. This is what you want to see improvement. The defense gets off the field. Offense, 3rd and 2. It's a 3rd and manageable. Freshman quarterback, get some confidence, make a play.
Yeah, it'll be their first on 3rd down. They're 0 for 8. Snaps a better one. Time, and right through the hands of his wide receiver, Marciel. So it's going to be 3 and out to start the second half. Cipoletti put it there, didn't he?
He did. 3rd and short. They run the double slant concept to the field. A lot of space there. You'd love to see that ball get caught. That's about the third or fourth drop we've seen on third down where Chippoletti's put it right on the money. I know it's wet. I know the conditions are tough for those guys to squeeze that football, but would have been nice to get that first third down of this second half and start moving the ball.
Epperson, his last punt was his best, trying to keep it away, and it's out of bounds. And I like what I saw on the sideline when Chippoletti went over, his teammates tapped him. I mean, everybody was there like that was a good throw. Improvement, little bit. Step by step for Weber State, their true freshman. But still it goes back to Utah State in a 49-point ball game. Diehards stick around, especially in the student body section. Thinning out on the alumni side. And welcome back once again as we continue in Logan. Huge hole over to the left side. And a good run. DiMartino exploded through it. He's right at 10 yards, first down marker. He's brought down by Chris Jones. So they still go with their tempo. And into the secondary, look at DiMartino. Everybody catching. Doesn't look that way. Career day for him already. Touchdown, Utah State.
Interesting, we see some of the backup offensive linemen in the game. Obviously, still just as impressive as the first teamers were in the first half. That power play, just the traditional power. You pull a guard, try to peel that thing open for your downhill running back. And DiMartino, he's got the reputation for being a thumper, kind of the short yardage back. By far his longest rush of his career. One he'll definitely remember, but he got downhill in a hurry and nobody was going to catch him. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight.
105 yards rushing now. And this is a guy, and you know, from the San Diego area, that didn't get many chances last year. All his snaps, basically, he saw special teams play.
A guy that works his tail off year-round to be in the position to be part of this running back by committee. Kerlin Williams graduates and moves on to the NFL a year ago, and they've got a stable of running backs. And that's the problem for Weber State, is even though they're going to be backups, there's still going to be guys that are on the field consistently for Utah State. So when you get DiMartino in the open field, he's going to be a tough guy to bring down. We've seen it all night. Getting into the secondary, the perimeter of this defense, and these running backs are not going to go down on first contact.
So we said at halftime, okay, it's basically over. It's 49-0. Now, get out of here healthy, both teams. Let's see if Utah State can run the ball. Just run it, run the clock. Well, they're running the ball. Not exactly the clock, though. 22 seconds on the drive.
Just a traditional power play, and it goes 60-plus yards or whatever it was. And you'd like to see Weber State understand that at this point you're trying to live for next week. And with the rain coming down, and thank goodness we've got a turf field that won't get sloppy and muddy, because as much as Utah State's going to be running that football, it could really, really get tough in the trenches.
Thompson will kick it away. And it will definitely stay in the end zone now. Slippery one with the rain falling, pretty good force, and we mentioned the rain going sideways at times because the wind has also become a factor. Hardly any wind to start the night, but the rain coming in off the mountains. And all of a sudden, not sloppy conditions because of the field turf, but still tough conditions.
Quarterback's worst nightmare, the first thing that you check off the list is a wet football. And then more so than anything else, the second thing, wind. So these guys are dealing with both of those tonight. I got to tell you, as a backup quarterback, even in the NFL, when I wanted to get in the game no matter what, on a night like this, wet, windy, I might pass that helmet off and grab that clipboard again.
Well, I want to get back to that thought, though, because Chippoletti's in there at 5'11", 190 pounds. Yeah, as he slings it out. Didn't exactly work out, but Braden Corpus holds on to it, a redshirt freshman from Boise. What are you, 6'4", 6'5"?
6'5".
Okay, and big hands. And that helps in the rain to grip the ball as opposed to a guy who's basically 5'10", a smaller guy. He's not going to have basketball player hands.
And in these types of offenses where every snap you take is from the shotgun, it becomes a really difficult task having to catch that thing for the next 2 quarters. He's got to catch 20 or 30 shotgun snaps.
If he can. That one a little bit too tall. And did he get out of the pocket to throw it away? And I'm talking about the tackle box. Linesman's coming over to talk about it with the referee because if he was outside of his tackle, barely. But it's already fixed 56-0, so wind it. So Weber State back at their own 25, another 3rd and long. Kind of the story of the night for them. 3rd and long.
They've been in 3rd and long all night, and this defense is just teed off with pressure over and over again. Got to get the snap, though. You're in 3rd and long because the snap was high and your quarterback couldn't catch it.
Running back, and hard running by Booker. No tearaway jersey now. He could have used it, though, because it slowed him up a little bit. Hard running for the kid from Oklahoma City.
One of those play calls where you might already have been thinking about going for it on 4th down. To run the draw play right there. I know it's wet. I know it's a tough night to throw the football, but you run the draw and you actually get positive play, 8 yards, gives you a 4th and 2. Looks like they're going to decide to actually punt this football away. Probably a good decision. You don't want to give Utah State a short field. At this point, you play this thing out normal. You try to get some positive momentum, but you're not going to reach for things deep in your own territory.
They haven't converted on a 3rd. They haven't tried a 4th. Another low snap for Epperson. And the wobbler will go out of bounds at about the 42. So again, Utah State short field, backups to 2nds and 3rds coming back out of the field for the Aggies. Homecoming, a rainy one, but still a very good one. 56 on the board for Utah State. Man, they get it back at their own 44. Joel Myers along with Kevin O'Connell. And a sparse gathering all of a sudden because of the rain. It continues to fall. Hasn't lightened up all that much. No Doppler available in the booth. Middle of the field, nobody at home. Going the distance once again. And too simple. Touchdown, Keegan Anderson. Just a blown assignment. We've seen it too often. Flag at the end of the play. It'll be unsportsmanlike probably.
We've seen this 2 or 3 times tonight. Same play call. In the first half, it was DJ Tia Uvea. But this one, it is Keegan Anderson. Same type of thing. You fake the zone read. We call it the old pop pass to the tight end. They're just running straight, trying to beat the linebacker. At that point, the Weber State linebackers lost him very early in the play.
So the coach's son, and that's Gary Anderson, coach at Wisconsin.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, 6-6. That penalty, kickoff, touchdown is good.
5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Another touchdown, and as I said, nobody accounted for him. He's kind of their H-back tight end.
One of the things when you start loading up the box, trying to force a play, one of the things that can happen is assignment errors. We've seen it a couple times tonight. Really frustrating thing. That play has been a touchdown pass 3 times in each quarter tonight. So that is something that you've got to fix if you're Weber State, because moving forward into the Big Sky, teams are going to watch this tape, and they're going to see the things that you broke down doing defensively and offensively. So this is going to be a big-time teaching tape for Coach Sears, and I believe it was the first touchdown pass of the career of Craig Harrison. So congratulations to him, as well as Keegan Anderson, who caught his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Yeah, you can tell how his teammates feel about him when he comes over to the sideline and gets that kind of reception.
You can always tell the guys, you're right, the guys on the team that are the grinders, the guys that work hard throughout the season. They don't need any notoriety. They don't need any press clippings. Those are the guys that when they catch a touchdown like that, the entire team, all 100 guys, come meet him at the chalk. It's fun to see. He is the former head coach of Utah State, Gary Anderson's son. Must be a different situation for him having his dad depart from the program going into his junior season, but obviously he's here. He's committed to being an Aggie, and I'm sure his teammates really respect him for it.
And Keegan Anderson, over his first 2 seasons, only 3 catches. He had 3 catches last week alone, and he had his first career touchdown last week in the win at Colorado Springs. So mark it off, unsportsmanlike conduct, and again, put on the ground. And it's going to go out of bounds
unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, probably the only reason why that ball isn't through the end zone as a touchback. Even when Utah State gets a penalty, they end up making a positive play out of it right on the next one, get the extra yardage. I know it's wet, I know it's rainy, but first and foremost, catch the football.
And they have a wide receiver back there, Gabe Davis. But it got away. So all of a sudden, Robert Marshall, the offense back out there. Anderson in the backfield. It's Marshall, and he's in. We still have almost 10 minutes left in the third.
Weber State defense just got off the field after giving up the long touchdown pass to Keegan Anderson. They come right back with Robert Marshall, and he's their third running back, but oh, by the way, he's part of the starting committee of running backs. So obviously the depth at running back, we're seeing it here. I'm sure we'll see some other players before this night is over at running back, but a lot of talent in the backfield for Utah State.
So because of the turnover, 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds. That kind of night for Weber State. And those guys are going to be really fit at the end of the night with 70 on the board already. So when Matt Wells told us that there was no way in the world his team was going to look past Weber and look ahead to their matchup with USC at the Coliseum in LA, because when they go into the Coliseum next week, I guarantee it's going to be a different experience.
They really did feel like in the opener at Utah, they should have won the football game. And when we talked about in the open that this team feels like they're going to win every game they play, we weren't making that up. These guys take the field, they're confident in their coach, they're confident, no doubt, in their quarterback, and oh, by the way, their defense plays great, and they're great on special teams as well. So if USC doesn't play a great game next week, they'll be in trouble.
I do like what he said about Keaton when you talk about the way they come out of the field, because he said Chucky Keaton goes out on the field every week and he thinks he's the best player out there. Cordero Dixon, a major collision at about the 13-yard line. Felt that all the way up here.
It was funny when Coach Wells said that. He followed that up with, he thinks he's the best quarterback or player on the field, and you know what? 99.9% of the time he is. So.
And he said it's confidence because he's a humble guy off the field. But Dixon, a sandwich. That's a serious shot. Knocked the mouthpiece out. Zach Smith on the carry. He's across the 15 up to about the 16-yard line. So Weber State starting at their own 12 with 1 first down the whole game. We talked about 49 in the first half. The last time it happened, 1964, that was a game they scored 76 and won it 76-0. They've got 70 already.
And Weber State, obviously, we know they're a young football team. That was true freshman quarterback handing the ball off to true freshman running back. They've got young guys up front as well. Big-time learning experience. But if you don't keep the effort up, Utah State's not letting up. It's not part of their DNA.
And the seconds are hungry for snaps. They want to show the coaches that I should be in the rotation. Zach Smith again, up to about the 19. So we talked about the step up in competition. It's difficult for Weber State. And the rebuilding, there's no question.
And to do it back-to-back weeks, these games take tolls on you. I can remember when I was at San Diego State playing, we went to Ohio State and played, and then had to go to Air Force, the tough assignment that Utah State had last week. It's impossible to be physically ready for those games early on in the season. And when you're a young football team, you have not played at this level long enough or enough in general to come out and execute your offense. And we've seen that tonight, a lot of young players making young mistakes.
The reverse. They should get the first down, and they will. Their first third down conversion of the game on the run by Cody Raymond. Jeremy Morris gets into the secondary. Raymond, a wide receiver out of Sandy, Utah. They're only an hour away. That's what's so tough for Weber State. These two schools, as now Morris cramps up. And not a surprise. It's now very cool out with the rain. And it started out, it was a warm night and a muggy night. But that's the difficult part. Because so many guys know each other. Played high school ball against each other.
Coach Sears talking to us this week on the conference call, he mentioned that a lot of times when they're recruiting, they try to recruit the guys that Utah State and Utah barely missed, or guys that just weren't quite there. And what it does is it creates a chip on the shoulder of these Weber State players. And when they come out against the teams that didn't recruit them, sometimes you'll get a little bit too much emotion, a little bit too much excitement, and it just comes down to games like this. To keep it close, you need big plays, maybe a turnover early on, and you need to just execute a clean football game. And we've seen neither of those tonight from the Weber State Wildcats, and we've seen a complete effort, again, like we did a week ago from the Utah State Aggies.
Well, they convert on third down for the first time. Took a gadget play, but at least they got it.
And those are the plays that we thought we'd see sometime in the second quarter. And maybe with Adam or Jordan Adamczyk out there, we would have seen more of that. We would have seen the more diverse offense, but it's been very predictable at times, and they need to bring those plays out now. Get a drive going, try to get some points.
A good call, because the script would have been different for the senior quarterback Adamczyk. Cipolleti keeps it. Shows some pretty good wheels, doesn't he? He's down after a game of 7.
He's got a great feel for that read option. It's apparent, like we said before, ran a very similar offense in high school. He's got a lot of experience doing that. The only problem is at this level, at 5'10", 5'11", 190 pounds, he's not going to be able to carry the football more than 10 to 15 times per game, and probably that's asking too much, especially against the size of the Utah State defense.
The clock continues to run. 8 minutes into the third quarter. And now, second and short on a drive that started back at the Weber State 12. Looked one way, sets up the screen the other way. And first down, Josh Booker. They're doing a little bit more, aren't they? Feeling more comfortable with Cipolleti?
I think he's finding a little bit of a rhythm. I think running the ball always helps for a young quarterback, because you get hit, you start to find your groove a little bit in a game, and then you start dropping back, and you're able to hit some of those screen passes once you establish the run game at the line of scrimmage. I'd like to see Weber State take some shots. Just try to run by somebody on the outside, give Cipolleti a chance to let that thing rip down the field.
Look over to the sideline for the play call. So what an experience for Austin Cipolleti, true freshman. You think he'll ever forget his first career start? Doubtful. Booker on first down, about 3 yards. Gets in there on the stop. And Nielsen. So it's still the first out there. First unit for Weber State. The only question is, will they get points over the next 15 plus, make it 20 plus minutes of this game? They're working against the seconds, some of the thirds defensively. You see Cameron Sanders in there, the backup strong safety, instead of Brandon Sweet for Utah State. Booker close to a first down. About a yard shot. They couldn't run the ball at all, though. That was the problem. They put so much pressure on Cipolleti in the first half. They couldn't get out of the backfield. They were losing yards.
9 yards rushing. You're not doing any favors for the freshman quarterback. They put him in third and long situations. He didn't have a bad completion percentage in the first half. The problem was they threw tons of screens, some swing passes, and nothing to really extend down the field against this defense. Became very one-dimensional, and their one dimension of running the football was not working whatsoever.
Hit third and a yard. And again, Booker belted in the backfield. Boy, what a play. Coming straight up, Nick Vigil. He's still in there. And also, Keelan Hollis. So now fourth down, but at least on the opposite side of the 50.
Absolutely, and you've got to go for it here. You've got your best drive of the night going, but even the last play, 3rd and 1, some confusion, guys running off the field, and we're seeing it again here on 4th down. Have a plan. You got to have a plan, and you got to have clean execution in between the snaps to even have a shot at being successful once you do snap that ball.
Need 4 for first down. Booker bounces out, and he's got a lot. So first down. Misdirection. Sold it right, went the other way. The longest run of the night for Josh Booker by far. Before that, 8 carries for 19 yards.
It's obvious that they're going to try to establish the run at all costs in this football game. They're not going to go one-dimensional with the freshman quarterback. Got some momentum going here. Get this thing down into the red zone and then execute your offense. Try to get on the board.
So 15 yards on the carry. And down to the 34. Deepest penetration by far in this game for Weber State. Bouncing out of the backfield. Yeah, won't work for Zach Smith. Just protected the football. He's another true freshman. 1,600 yards on the ground last year in high school in Kissimmee, Florida. And Cameron Sanders, a strong safety, forced him out.
There you see the difference between the two levels, because Zach Smith's been a guy that's been able to run around the edge, averaging 7.2 yards a carry so far in 2013. But the freshman's going to learn you got to get north-south against a defense, whether it's the first, second, or third string of Utah State. It doesn't matter. You got to get north and south and get your pads upfield, because the pursuit laterally sideline to sideline is going to be there no matter who's in the game.
Lost 2 on the carry. Booker put it on the ground. It's still loose. Man, it looks like Utah State has it, and they do. Coming up with it, Rashard Stewart, a junior from Miami. So it's tough, it's wet, and it cost Booker after one of his best runs of the game and the deepest penetration with the best drive of the game for Weber State, but they still can't score. Rain continues to fall in Logan, Utah. Welcome back once again. Joel Myers, Kevin O'Connell, and Utah State getting the football back after the best drive of the game. Ball on the ground. Josh Booker just never had it.
Those are the types of things that happen when you've got a freshman quarterback in the game. Obviously missing Jordan Adomchek tonight. Chipolletti just not enough reps in training camp as a true freshman to feel comfortable running this offense. A little indecisive there whether to give the ball or keep it himself. Those things will get better as he gets more reps in his career.
Huge hole up the middle for Marshall. He has to avoid the umpire, breaking tackles, and bumped out with the first down inside the 30. So once again, it's just Weber State unable to do anything on that side of the ball. And I'm talking about the defense that's let him down to the first half too.
Up front, the domination by the Utah State offensive line, no matter who's been in the game, it's been domination. They've been getting pushed, driving this defensive line off the football, and makes it really hard, like we've seen all night, for these secondary and linebacker players on this Weber State defense to make any plays.
And it's the seconds right now out there. In and out of the hands. And Johnson finally held on. Maybe lost a yard. Let's see where they put it. All the seconds, I just looked Joe Summers in there at center now, behind Tyler Larson. So they're playing a number of backups at this point of the game. Craig Harrison stays in at quarterback, though. He's the number 2 quarterback, selling it after the handoff.
This offensive line for Utah State, we talked about the experience coming into the game, 134 career starts. The starters have played a lot of football. But you know what? These reps are so important because you've got sophomores and some freshmen getting reps on the field that will help them 2-3 years down the line with the experience they're gaining tonight.
Back up center. Well, let's see. They're rolling to the strong side. Little stop route and a completion. It's good for the first down. As over on the far side, first catch of the night for Alex Wheat Jr. Alpharetta, Georgia product at 6'4", 220. He's not in the two deep. He's third.
Wheat Jr. working against Deontay Florence, who transferred from Boise State, got here this week. So that just goes to show you the depth issues at Weber State. A guy that arrived on Wednesday is out playing in this football game.
That run's going to kill Marshall's average. 4 for 45 before that one, only 3 yards. Obi Owo, the defensive end, brings him down. And that'll be the final snap of the third. So 21 points on the board in the third, and all with Utah State once again. So a very successful homecoming where they had a Hall of Fame ceremony honoring so many, like Roy Shivers, Jim Turner, just to name a couple, going into the Aggies Hall of Fame this weekend. And they continue to celebrate, at least the student body section.
I've been impressed. They're sticking around in this rain. I love it.
We'll get ready for the final 15 minutes in Logan, Utah, all Utah State.